Hello, everyone. Good morning. I am so thrilled to be here with all of your gorgeous faces, and the energy in here is absolutely incredible. So I am moderating our first panel, and we are talking about something that really affects all of us, but we really don't talk about it enough. It's women's health and how our needs really change and evolve with time as we age. And so we're gonna do a real deep dive into that. We're gonna talk about everything from menopause to weight loss drugs to skincare to mental health. We're gonna do a really deep dive to really allow you guys to leave with some tips and tricks to really take care of your health and well-being. And of course, I'm here with some of the most incredible experts. So I will introduce them. Let's first get started with Dr. Natalie Azar.
Hi, how are you guys? So happy to be here.
Dr. Taz Bhatia.
So I'm Dr. Taz, nice to see everyone.
Excellent. And psychotherapist, Niro Feliciano.
I'm Niro.
And sit tight, we're gonna answer all of your burning questions at the end. Honestly, that is one of the best parts of this panel, so write your questions down and we'll get to them. Let's get started. So to kick things off, we're gonna talk about healthy aging and how we can keep our mind and body healthy and active throughout our life. Starting off with Dr. Azar, research suggests that there are two major bursts of aging around ages 44 and 60. What's happening in the body during those stages? And what can we do to proactively support our health?
So that's a great question. We actually did this segment a couple of months ago or a year ago. I probably should have listened to my own segment back. But you know, we have this idea in life as we get older that aging happens kind of linearly, and we're all familiar with you know, perhaps perimenopause and the menopausal transition. But what this study actually found was that there are two distinct times in our lives where our body cells kind of do a deep dive in the wrong direction. And those two ages are at 44 and at age 60. And it happens for men and women, so we can't just blame hormones for that. But what they found, which I thought was really, really interesting, that our cells sort of, from a cardiovascular perspective, they take a little bit of that dive at age 44 and at age 60. Metabolism for other things changes more specifically around the ages of, at the age of 44, and that's how we metabolize caffeine and alcohol and lipids. So I don't know if many of you might have noticed that your cholesterol suddenly shot up when you got older, that you can't handle alcohol the way you used to. So it could be kind of an explanation for that. And then after the age of 60, it's our immune systems that kind of take a hit. How much of this is biologically predetermined versus how much can we control? And I think the message that I want to give to you all is that we can't stop the aging process. You know, if somebody out in the audience can, please share it with all of us. We can all retire. But there are things that we certainly can do to offset some of the negative impacts of cellular aging. And it's going to be the stuff that we've always talked about. But good nutrition, exercise, sleep, mental hygiene, all of those things matter a great deal, and I think do impact that.
Excellent. Next up, Dr. Taz Bhatia. The gut is ground zero for health, influencing digestion, immunity, hormones, energy, and mood. Why is the gut microbiome so critical?
You know, it's really interesting. Over, you know, the last 10, 15 years or so, there's just been an explosion of research on how important the gut is for almost every aspect of your health. And as somebody with a background in more holistic and integrative medicine and functional medicine, you know, it's funny to me in a way because Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine has been talking about this for thousands of years. But what we understand now more scientifically is that your gut, you know, the gut bacteria, how you digest your food, how you process your food, you know, is really determining what's happening with everything else, your hormones, your inflammation, you know, your mental health, your ability to think and process information effectively, you know, your blood sugar, your weight, metabolism, all these different things. So when we ignore the gut, but we try to patchwork around it, we find that patients, and many of you may have already experienced this, you get very limited results, right? Or you experience very significant side effects from whatever it is that you're doing. And so, you know, I'm pretty passionate, you know, I've gone up and down in terms of my interest in different areas, but like we keep coming back to this very central idea that the gut is ground zero.
Excellent. And Niro, a lot of people worry about memory and brain health as they get older. What are some of the best things we can do to keep our brains sharp as we age?
This is long. Perimenopause, menopause, anyone here? Yeah. I just turned 50 this weekend, so I'm in it. And what we know is as our estrogen declines, so does our serotonin, which is our mood elevator. It helps us deal with stress. So does our oxytocin declines as well, so the way we feel connected to each other. So what we tend to experience during this transition is forgetfulness. Dr. Azar and I were just talking about how much we can't remember, cognitive confusion, lack of clarity, and then you pair that with the sleep disturbances. And I just want to share with you, I've been talking about this for 20 years, but it is different when it happens to you. And I want to give you an example. If you've ever felt crazy, I'm just going to normalize it for you. Because the other day, my husband walked in the door and I said to him, "Oh my gosh, I have to tell you what happened today." And he goes, "What?" And then all of a sudden I'm like, "I don't know." And then I said, "What a disappointment. We were both just so excited." So it is a very real thing. So anything that we want to do, number one, sleep is a non-negotiable. And there are many different ways that you can improve your sleep. And one as simple as getting morning sunlight. So we increase our melatonin. Also, exercise helps improve our sleep. But really what we're seeing now are the benefits of HRT, hormone replacement therapy, if we're sleeping, especially if you're getting up in the night with hot flashes. Exercise, we know, elevates our serotonin. It is effective for everybody in terms of mood regulation and stress regulation, and also increasing our oxytocin. Being in rooms with women you feel connected to, just like today, will elevate our oxytocin and serotonin, all of which will affect our brain health.
Excellent. And of course, we can't forget about our skin. So as a dermatologist, I'm seeing all of those changes on the outside. And we often lead with our skin first. So it's really important that we think about ways to take care of our skin so we can feel like our best self. So I want to give you guys 3 skincare tips to really carry you through all of the phases of life. So my first tip, I want you to move from thinking about anti-aging to thinking about pro-aging. In the same way that we've moved from lifespan to health span, we like to call it our skin span. So what can we do to make our skin look healthy? Because if your skin isn't healthy, if you're not doing the right things, I can't inject or laser that away, right? So we want to make sure that we have a really holistic approach to our skin. So we want to think about things like our barrier, reducing inflammation, using sunscreen, protecting our skin. That's so important. Making sure we're not over-treating it. So you don't need 25 steps in a skincare regimen. Keep it simple. Second tip, thinking about keeping it simple, when we're aging, I like to focus on what I call our core 4. So these are core 4 products that you need to help you as you're aging to maintain youthful skin. So the first one, antioxidants. So things like vitamin C. This is very important. So it's gonna help protect you against environmental stressors. It's going to help protect you against inflammation and protect your collagen so your skin doesn't get that laxity and that sagging. It's also going to help to stimulate some collagen and brighten the skin. 2, we want a good moisturizer, so our skin needs to be hydrated. 3, either a retinoid or a peptide to stimulate collagen. And last but not least, a little bit of sunscreen. And then my last tip is, think about your skin as a part of your total wellness, So don't forget that, hey, you need sleep, that you need to work out, doing that strength training is important. That circulation helps your skin, eating well. So all of those things are a part of looking your best. So let's move on to our next topic. So we talked a lot about how aging is not just the passing of time. All of our systems are changing. And one of the biggest systems that's changing is our immune system. So let's talk a little bit about our immune system. If you guys didn't know this, March is actually Autoimmune Awareness Month. And women are significantly more likely than men to develop autoimmune diseases. So Dr. Azar, why do autoimmune diseases disproportionately affect women? And what are some of the most common ones you see in your office?
So yes, one of the reasons I went into rheumatology was actually because I wanted to have a female predominant patient practice. And men do get autoimmune diseases and they do get other conditions that aren't necessarily autoimmune, but I was driven to that for that purpose. Well, it turns out that about 70 to 80% of autoimmune disease is experienced by women. The ratio in lupus is 9 to 1. The ratio in Sjogren's disease is 19 to 1. And so over the years, there have been very differing theories. There are four major ones. One is that women's immune systems are more robust than men's. So we know that. We know that when we get sick with a viral syndrome, let's say, we are more effective at fighting off pathogens than men necessarily are. The other one has to do with environmental exposures. So sun, for example, is a classic trigger for lupus. Alcohol is so for rheumatoid arthritis. And then we have hormones. We know that hormones can upregulate an immune response and the immune system. But genetics is probably the key. And about a year or two ago, there was a study out of Stanford University that really seemed to kind of unlock this mysterious thing that happens that might predispose women to autoimmune diseases. And it starts with basic genetics. Women, mammalian, biologically female beings have 2 copies of the X chromosome, as we all know from even high school biology, and men have an XY. And newsflash, we don't need a Y chromosome to survive, right? Half of the population doesn't have a Y chromosome, and we're doing just fine. But it happens that the X chromosome happens to encode for hundreds of different extraordinarily important proteins. But if you have 2 copies of the X chromosome, that could be dangerous. And so the body naturally, while you're in utero, you're developing during embryogenesis, one of those X chromosomes is actually inactivated. And that process of inactivation inadvertently can stimulate and trigger an aberrant immune reaction. And some of those proteins that are there are the same proteins that are found in what we call autoantibodies. So the autoantibodies that are responsible for lupus and Sjogren's and rheumatoid arthritis are actually the proteins that are made in that process. Obviously, not all women develop autoimmune disease, but I think it's really a fascinating discovery when it happened. And the molecule that causes this is called exist or exist, but exist I kind of like because it's sort of like sexist or this. Not saying anything. But that's kind of the sort of one of the prevailing theories right now. And so I mentioned a few of the diseases. Not all autoimmune diseases are rheumatologic. So the ones that we see in rheumatology, lupus, Sjogren's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma, myositis, you may have heard of some of these diseases. But celiac, that's a gastroenterologist's purview. Hashimoto's, endocrinology. MS, that's a neurologist. So autoimmune diseases can and do affect pretty much every organ in the body. Rheumatologists don't see all of them. We see most of them.
Excellent. And something I'm seeing a lot in my office is actually a lot of osteoporosis. Yes. And so we know that low bone mass really affects more women than men. What can the women in this room do to think about protecting their bone health?
This is something that I'm really, really passionate about because, and actually it's extraordinarily salient in the conversation of menopausal hormone therapy because so many of the women and men, but we're talking about women in this scenario because of hormone replacement therapy. So many of the women in their 60s and 70s and 80s who I treat now for osteoporosis were never offered menopausal hormone therapy because that was a period in time when nobody did because of the faulty studies that led to everyone saying that it was dangerous and caused heart disease and stroke and breast cancer. So what I want to sort of communicate to everybody out there is that your bone health starts really from the minute that you're born. Calcium intake as a child, especially in the pubertal years and adolescence, is extraordinarily important. So for all of us, that time has passed, but for your children and grandchildren, this is something that I really want to communicate. Because women and boys, but women reach their peak bone mass around age 30. About 90% of peak bone mass is reached at age 25. And largely that is genetically determined, but it also has to do with how much calcium exposure you get as a child. After the age of 25 and 30, there's a very slow decline in your bone density until menopause, and then it really plummets in that first year after menopause, and then it continues to go down as we get older. So right now, the screening for osteoporosis, the recommendation for average risk women is age 65, but there are so many secondary causes of osteoporosis and reasons why you might be at risk and that you should get a bone density before age 65. That could include underlying chronic, any really chronic medical conditions, obviously autoimmune diseases, conditions where you might be on steroids for asthma multiple times per year, celiac disease where you might have malabsorption, or any other GI illness that could lead to malabsorption of vitamin D and whatnot. So it's really a conversation that you should have with your doctor around the time of menopause, if you're a candidate for earlier screening than age 65. We have wonderful medications, but we're playing catch up. We're kind of getting people out of a ditch, and we can do that effectively. The medications for osteoporosis are extraordinarily good at preventing vertebral or spine fractures, and they're not as good, but very good at preventing hip fractures. But exercise, improving strength and balance training, maintaining adequate calcium and vitamin D. So a lot of misinformation about calcium and D don't prevent osteoporosis. I want to get away from all that garbage. You need calcium every day, and you need vitamin D every day so that the bone you do have is adequately mineralized.
Excellent. So, it's interesting. We're talking a lot about inflammation, and the more and more we learn about inflammation, we realize that inflammation can often start in a place that we don't always expect, and that's the gut. So, Dr. Taz, how does the gut health influence inflammation and autoimmune disease? And what are the 3 most impactful changes that women can make to improve their gut health today?
So it's funny because we just did a segment yesterday on Today about inflammation. But yes, the gut is ground zero, again, when it comes to inflammation and immune health as well. And just a quick comment on osteoporosis. One of the things that we are seeing in practice, because I get to see across the ages, is very young women, 20s, early 30s, already showing signs of osteopenia because we routinely screen, when they're coming in for their annual visits. So it is something real. But here's the good news, is that when we do pay attention to gut health, we can see some of those numbers shift. And here's why, and this connects back to inflammation. We understand now that, if the gut is not intact, meaning you don't have a healthy gut lining, you don't have the right balance of good bacteria, and I can get granular about that, but there are about 3 or 4 different families of good bacteria that we should be having in our gut, and you are not digesting your foods well, meaning you're not absorbing fat, you're not breaking down protein or carbohydrates effectively, all of that results in a trigger of the immune system towards the inflammatory arm. So that's how it's all connected back up together. There are so many different factors impacting that today. It's easy just to say eat healthy, eat clean, and you'll be fine. Unfortunately, in today's environment, that's no longer true, because one of the things we've seen over and over again in practice is the role of things like glyphosate or mold or some of these things impacting kind of how the belly or the digestive system is able to function effectively and how they actually shift the microbiome. So everything comes back down to that microbiome and the pressure it's feeling from all the different factors around it. So in terms of healthy things to do or things you could do right now, I think, again, you've heard us talk about this, and I hope you don't roll your eyes, but it always starts with food as medicine, right? So it really begins there, because we do understand that processed foods, food additives, food dyes, all of these things that are in a bag or a box are impacting microbial health and then pushing kind of that train towards more of an inflammatory profile. So that's like rule number 1. After that, it starts to get a little bit more individual when it comes to food. Some people need a better fat profile. We know when there's a better omega-3, omega-6 ratio, then there's less inflammation in the body. So making sure you're getting those good fats, we talk about them in nuts and seeds and fatty fishes and all of those things, and not as much of like the grain and the dairy and the meat, which are higher usually in the omega-6s. And then, of course, looking at food quality. I think those are probably good starting points for everybody. I think after that, if you are ignoring things like how frequently you go to the bathroom, or you have bloating, or you have reflux, or any of these sort of soft signs of poor gut health, it's time to pay attention to those, because I think all of that is influencing sort of how our body's going to manage inflammation and ultimately manage the immune system. And so there's a fiber deficiency in the diet. So maybe you need some supplemental fiber if you're running around and a busy woman. I fall short of fiber just myself all the time when I start to track. So those are things to start to look at. And then after that, really looking at things like cortisol and your hormones, because they're influencing the microbiome as well. There are incredible studies around cortisol and how that shifts the microbiome. When we're chronically stressed, the gut will change and it will skew again towards inflammation. When we lose progesterone or estrogen, same thing, will skew towards a different microbiome, which then leads to inflammation. So again, all of these things are kind of wrapped up together. So I would say food first, making sure you're going to the bathroom consistently. After that, getting the support you need for your gut. So some of my patients will go on things like digestive enzymes because they're not going consistently, or added fiber, or a high quality probiotics. There's been a lot of debate about probiotics, right? They are in your food, and you do get probiotics by a varied diet. But again, because we're all so busy and running around, you can take a probiotic. You just have to make sure it is what it says it is, because they do degrade on the shelf and they do change over time. And I can get into all that detail later. But those are some of the things you can maybe start to do.
Fantastic. So another quick question. We really can't talk about wellness without talking about GLP-1 medications. So if you can just tell us, how do these medications work? And give us, a quick idea of your approach to microdosing. You talk about that a lot. So microdosing, combining that with lifestyle changes, what does a healthy, sustainable approach look like?
Definitely. So GLP-1s are interesting. So first of all, we have GLP-1 receptors on almost every organ of the body, and I think everybody forgets that. I think now we've sort of been programmed to think GLP-1 is only associated with your gut or with metabolic health, but they're all over the body. They're responsible for your uptake of blood sugar, balancing insulin and what's happening there, but they're also tied to the inflammatory pathway, which has been super interesting with these medications. So, again, as somebody with a, kind of integrative holistic background, when these medications first came on the scene, and I might have said this last time, I was like, we're not doing that. That's weird. We're not doing that. We're not shutting the gut down. We're not like making you calorie deficit. Like, how is that going to work? All of this stuff. So it took us a while to kind of like get our heads wrapped around this on the right way to use these medications. So here's sort of the great news. First of all, there are multiple different classes of these medications, as I'm sure many of you know, right? It started with semaglutide, now we have tirzepatide, now we have retatrutide in clinical trials now kind of hovering in the background there. So, and people have had really amazing results. However, you might be following some of the studies coming out more recently, talking about side effects, talking about all the weight coming right back out. That was last week, I think, right? That all the weight's coming right back, and sometimes even more, just like the old school phentermine, just like a lot of the old school drugs that we were familiar with for weight loss. And so what we have found to be successful in practice is that if your BMI is high, right, you truly are obese, these drugs absolutely help at the standard doses for which they're prescribed, because they do bring down your metabolic burden of high lipids, of high blood pressure, diabetes, all these different things. So there's a cost-benefit issue going on there for that patient. But many of our patients are not falling in that category, right? They're just seeing maybe the perimenopausal or the menopausal changes, or maybe they have PCOS, or some of these other metabolic syndromes that keep like that 10 to 20 extra pounds on them, sometimes maybe even a little bit more. When we microdose, when they are baby doses of some of these medications, again, because they're GLP-1 receptors on everything, we are seeing inflammation go down. So we are seeing the body better able to balance out its microbiome a little more easily than it could if we did nothing, right? Or if we just said the usual, eat less, do your thing. Now, the flip side of that is when those same patients take the regular doses, it works against them, because they're slowing down the gut, they're slowing down their gastric motility, they're indirectly messing with their metabolic rate, they're protein wasting, they're losing muscle, which in the long term doesn't work. So the advantage of microdosing is that you should never tell me that you're not hungry. I always tell patients, if you're telling me you're not hungry, we have a problem.
Yeah.
You should be eating, and you should be eating consistently and getting that protein in, and the microdosing helps us to accomplish that.
Excellent. So a lot of these changes that we're seeing with age, we're talking about a lot of physical changes, but as we all know here, those changes are not only physical. So they show up emotionally, cognitively, relationally. So I want to tap into your expertise, Niro. Women today are juggling so much: careers, caregiving, constant connectivity. How do you see that chronic stress and emotional load showing up in mental health? And what can we do, like actionable things that we can do to really protect ourselves today?
It's very true, and that's part of why this stage of life is so stressful. You may feel like your mind is like a game of ping pong. It's constantly vacillating between different worlds, whether you have a career or kids or you're caregiving for parents. And then we're managing the own stressors of our own body and identity changing in many ways too. Like we said, what we used to be able to do really easily doesn't work anymore. We have to put more effort into remembering. At the very least, someone's name. That's one of the first things to go, someone who you should know. So managing the stressors really, really important. And first and foremost, I would say sleep is pivotal. And if you are having trouble sleeping, it is worth addressing that piece first. It really is the foundation of our mental health. I will go back to what you said about diet and gut health, because we know serotonin, a huge resource of serotonin, which affects our mood, our mental clarity, is from the gut. So we need to take care of gut health as well. But also at this stage of life, planning things that you enjoy. I can't even tell you how many times I sit across from a woman and I say, "What brings you joy?" And she doesn't know. No one has stopped to ask her that. She has not stopped to think about it, and let alone factor it into her life, planning it. So I usually tell them, start with 15 minutes. What would bring you joy for 15 minutes? Maybe it's a playlist. Maybe it's a conversation with a friend. Maybe it's a nap on your couch because you need a rest because you're not sleeping at night. Let's work that into your life, and that helps us to manage some of the stressors. And also, I can't underestimate the importance of connection. At this stage of our life, our relationships may be changing. I find when people are closer to empty nesting or retirement, they start moving and going to other places. So really investing in the relationships we have. One thing I made it a point of a few years ago is that I take a walk with a good friend every single week, sometimes twice a week. And part of that, it's like a twofer. We get the exercise, but we also get the oxytocin, which boosts our mood. And seeing someone that often, we develop our relationships, we deepen our relationship. It's a win-win mentally and physically. So that's also important with dealing with stress. And let me say one more thing about exercise and strength training in particular. We know we need to do that in midlife because of muscle wasting. It's also why we hear so much about the protein that we need. But strength training in particular can be a form of mindfulness. And mindfulness increases our cognitive clarity, our cognitive strength. Because when you are lifting something heavy, you cannot think about anything else. You're trying to survive that moment, and not get hurt. So it is a form of single tasking. And as women, we do not single task. We survive our lives by multitasking, right? So single tasking is really important for bringing back our concentration, our memory, our focus. So again, strength training is a twofer in that way as well.
Excellent. So one more quick question, because I see everyone here. I could feel the questions bubbling off of all of you. I think this affects all of us. I know it affects me. I want to work out. I want to strength train, but I'm just so tired because I can't sleep anymore, right? So sleep is a huge factor in our well-being. Yet so many women struggle with sleep. What are a few practical ways that women can improve their sleep?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you,
Yeah.
yes.
One, a consistent bedtime routine is important, and consistent time. A bedtime and a wake-up time is important because you're sending the signal to your body, it's time to go to sleep. The other thing, which I will say, because when we are tired, we often look for instant dopamine. So what happens? We go on our phones and we scroll. And it really does manipulate our dopamine. We find that we're often exposed to really high levels, so our body drops it low into a deficit, which can add to our irritability, our shortness, our anger, our anxiety. So monitoring your screen time is really important for sleep as well. And I want to give you a really quick technique that I've done with students for years, and many of the students I've worked with have continued this, I'll say, intervention for a long time. Have you ever heard of putting your phone in grayscale? Google how to put my phone in grayscale, because the colors on your phone keep us going back to it. It's what gives us dopamine. And you find when it's in grayscale, you actually go to your phone. I've had people get mad at their phone when it's in grayscale. I was like, we got a problem if you're getting mad at your phone. But you actually go into your phone, do the thing you went into your phone for. How many times do you go into your phone to do something and all of a sudden you know where your friend went on vacation and all the things, right? We've wasted 30, 40 minutes. But that also will regulate some of our neurochemicals, so we'll be able to sleep and not be overstimulated.
A round of applause to our amazing experts here. Thank you all for being here.